Welcome back to the Shoulder Spotlight podcast. I'm your community leader and host, Adriana. Today we have with us Cara Eplin. Hi, Cara. How are
Hello.
you? All the way from Florida. How are
Yes,
you?
I am good. It's gotten warm again.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, for those of us in the shoulder community who don't know who Cara is, tell me, who is Cara Eplin?
I am the girl who decided after 40 plus years to leave my hometown of St. Louis. I moved to California for a year, and last year I decided I was moving to Florida and I drove myself all the way here. I have a very deep intuition that I feel that I'm still integrating with because I have a lot of former things coming up, which to me is just an opportunity to review. But I feel like I'm in a better space here in Florida to be able to do that. I walk on the beach daily, sometimes twice a day.
Wow, that's amazing. Why did you choose to be a shoulder?
I was introduced to this by my best friend, who is also a shoulder. And when she told me about it, it just clicked because I love being able to talk to people and find out their positive thing for themselves, or how they can redirect how they're thinking. And shoulder gives you that whole capacity to be able to do that in a very well-rounded way.
What inspired you after the foundations workshop to continue with the shoulder process?
I actually myself went through something that I completely broke down during the foundations training, and someone from the community stepped up and shouldered me, and to be able to have that turned around for myself and to see how supportive that is, I was just like, this is somewhere I need to be.
What drew you and keeps you involved in the shoulder community?
I love just being able to connect with like-minded people, and questions pop up that you don't even think about if you were just sitting by yourself, and you can ask a question and it's like this realm of ideas that just circulates in this community, and it's a very loving space.
What gifts do you believe you bring to shoulder? Like empathy, compassion, listening?
I feel I'm very empathetic. I've learned with shoulder to be an even better listener. I'm very intuitive, so I know when somebody's telling me something that might not be their truth, that I can ask more questions around to help them dig deeper within themselves.
That's awesome. That makes me want to have a practice shoulder session with you. In fact, I might actually do that after this call, schedule a session.
Awesome.
What shoulder skills do you use in your daily personal and professional life?
I really like, I'm going to be lost for words. I like being aware of just being able to sit and listen and not just regurgitate any advice that I have, to let them tell me what they need and just fully incorporate that and be able to get them one good answer versus 10 good answers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And that's it's a unique skill, right? Like I think shoulder foundations training definitely helped us all in the community hone that skill. But it's funny, like I notice myself when I'm like with family or friends, like shouldering them, all of a sudden, like I switch to shoulder mode, right? It's like,
Yep.
okay, we're talking about you right now. So go ahead and just turn that little switch.
Yep.
How has shoulder influenced your relationships?
I feel it makes me more available because I'm able to just sit and listen without trying to navigate or help.
Mm-hmm. And how has your life changed because of Shoulder?
It's given me a community that when I found myself stuck in something, that I can ask a question, I can reach out to someone in the community and have a session versus just sitting there. Because before this community, I would do everything on my own and
Mm-hmm.
thinking that I was doing everything on my own. But having this community, I have a space where I can talk out whatever's going on in my head versus letting it just sit there.
Mm. And I want to expand on that a little bit. Like,
Okay.
um, you talked about like whatever's going on in your head. Like how do you notice that you've changed the way you used to process things to now after being a part of Shoulder?
I'm not afraid to ask for help now.
Ah, I love that's like a shot in the heart right there of like that echoes. Oh, right. Let's talk about the community a little bit more. What is your favorite part of the community?
I like circle. Like I like that we have one place that we can go in there. If we have a win from a session that we've done, we can talk about that. If we have a question about something, we can talk about that. We can inspire each other. It's a one go-to place, and everybody hops in. There was something like with you the other day, like you were like, I need help. And
Mhm,
I it exploded. The
mhm,
love just exploded. And I
mhm.
loved that. I could feel it. Like it was just amazing.
Yeah, it really was. It was really what I needed. And I appreciate everyone in the community, including you. You're always the first to like, always the first to respond. It's so great. I'm like, at least Cara will say something about this post.
You're so sweet.
Ah, so, about Circle, you've been so involved. What if you were to change anything about the platform, what would it be?
The only thing I could think to change is just having like a social media aspect, just because I love like just posting like your quotes, like something that might inspire somebody. I like to pull oracle cards, just like a space where it's more social media like. But I
Mhm,
know that's not a part of the app. But I just think that's the only thing that's really missing for me, is to be
mhm,
able to have that one little space that you just pop in this little thing that it
mhm.
might be a quote that one person reads that makes their day. And that's, to me, if it makes one person's day, that's what counts.
How do you see yourself growing within the community?
Well, I just did my first session. I had my first share, and I that just lit me up. I can't wait to do more sessions. I would love to become involved in the community however I can to support the growth of
Mhm.
Shoulder.
Amazing. Yeah. I really love that you just said that, because now I'm like, ooh, she'd be a great shoulder bliss. So just so you know, I might be contacting you to do a shoulder bliss video.
Okay.
Okay, if you were to leave the shoulder community tomorrow, what insights that you've learned through shouldering and through our community might you take with you?
I don't want to leave.
I get that a lot.
I'm like, I don't want to leave. Um, what insights would I take? Um, the big one of being able to just sit and listen, let someone be fully heard, to take in all the information that they have to share with me before I even open my mouth.
Mm,
I think that's just I didn't realize how much I would just automatically, because I love to give advice.
mhm.
Like this showed me how much I was just like, oh, well, they haven't even finished talking. It's like, Okay.
So let's oppose that question. If you were to leave the shoulder community tomorrow and say, what would you leave the community with? What snippet of genius or nugget of wisdom would you leave us with?
So always trust your heart.
Mm,
If something feels off, there's a reason,
mm,
and that is something to dig into versus just letting it go.
mm. Beautiful. Well said. Well, thank you so much, Cara. This has been a lovely interview, and I look forward to seeing more of your involvement, not just in the community, but as a shoulder.
Thank you.